Mentoring is a relationship between people and who are at the same career stage or age in which one person has more experience than the other in a particular domain and can provide support as well as knowledge and skills transfer. Peer mentoring may be a one-on-one relationship or experienced in a group. The exchange is usually mutual, even if one member of the group begins in the traditional role of mentee or learner and the other in the role of mentor. For example, a newcomer to an organization or industry may start off as the learner, but as the relationship develops, he or she usually discovers he or she has become something to offer the partner in terms of other experience. The relationship then develops into an environment for co-learning. Ms. Tejaswini, please mute yourself. Ms. Tejaswini, please mute yourself. One moment, please. Sorry. The relationship then develops into an environment for co-learning. Like any form of mentoring, there are advantages and disadvantages. In conventional mentoring, the mentor is more experienced, may be perceived as substantially more senior in the profession or industry. This can create a power differential between mentor and mentee, which can inhibit development of rapport, especially in the early stages. Mentoring overcomes the hierarchical gap. In conventional mentoring relationships, the exchange is more one way. In peer mentoring, the balance is more even. Peer mentoring may be more accessible to potential mentees simply because there are more peers available than experienced mentors. Peer mentoring can offer greater opportunities for empathy and a sense of equity and expertise. Their studies suggest that peer relationships may have more longevity and that whilst traditional mentoring relationships might be most useful at early stages of career, peer relationships may have more to offer at later stage. An interesting study by Bergster and Coram in 2001 found that the content of electronic communications, primarily email in this study, between peers was more likely to be personal in nature than that between traditional mentor peers. This suggests that relationships in a virtual peer mentoring program may well be more quickly established than in traditional virtual mentoring programs. Case studies in the education sector dominates the research literature from which it is difficult to generalize about how to implement in other contexts. Most of the conclusions about best practice for these programs are identical to best practice recommendations for all types of mentoring programs. Whether you are implementing peer mentoring or other types of mentoring, pay careful attention to the program design, how participants are prepared, trained, and supported. Make sure you monitor the health of mentoring relationships and evaluate often. Peer mentoring is a form of mentorship that usually takes place between a person who has lived through a specific experience, peer mentor, and a person who is new to that experience, the peer mentee. An example would be an experienced student being a peer mentor to a new student, the peer mentee in a particular subject or in a new school. Peer mentors are also used for health and lifestyle changes. For example, clients or patients with support from peers may have one-on-one session that meet regularly to help them cover or rehabilitate. Peer mentoring provides individuals who have suffered from a specific life experience the chance to learn from those who have recovered or rehabilitated following such an experience. Peer mentors provide education, recreation, and support opportunities to individuals. The peer mentor may challenge the mentee with new ideas and encourage the mentee to move beyond the things that are most comfortable. Most peer mentors are picked for their sensibility, confidence, social skills, and reliability. Critics of peer mentoring insist that little is known of the nature of peer mentoring relationships and that there are few consistent studies indicating the outcomes of peer mentoring beyond good feelings among peers and the development of friendships. Peer mentoring led by senior students may discourage diversity and prevent critical analysis of the higher education system. The frequency with which peer mentors and mentees meet varies according to the particular mentoring program. Some peers may make contact once a month, while others may meet 3-4 times per month or more. It is usually advised that mentors and mentees meet more often in the beginning of the relationship in order to establish a good foundation. Mentors and mentees may maintain contact through email, telephone, or in-person meetings. Peer mentoring organizations may also set up social events for those participating in the program. These events provide good opportunities for increased social interaction between mentors and mentees. The compatibility of mentor and mentee is a factor that should be taken into consideration when choosing peers. Mentors and mentees may benefit from having similar backgrounds, interests, and life experiences. Age, gender, ethnicity, language, preference, and education may be taken into consideration when pairing mentors with mentee. The quality of the peer mentoring relationship is important for mentee to experience positive results. A mentor relationship is more successful when the mentor cares for the whole person and not just the academic or career side of a person. Successful mentors tend to be available, knowledgeable, educated in diversity issues, empathetic, personable, encouraging, supportive, and passionate. Although this is not an exhaustive list of qualities, they have been shown to be important for successful mentoring relationships. It is important to keep qualities like this in mind when recruiting and training mentors. The objectives of a peer mentoring program should be well-defined and measurable. The effectiveness of the program should be monitored to ensure that the objectives are being met. One way to monitor the effectiveness of a program is to administer evaluations to the mentors and mentees. Peer mentoring in education was promoted during the 1960s by educator and theorist Paul Freire. He wrote, I quote, "The fundamental task of the mentor is a liberatory task. It is not to encourage the mentor's goal and aspiration and dreams to be reproduced in the mentees, the students, but to give rise to the possibility that the students become the owners of their own history." This is how I understand the need that teachers have to transcend their merely instructive task and to assume the ethical posture of a mentor who truly believe in the total autonomy, freedom, and development of those he or she mentors, unquote. Peer mentors appears mainly in secondary schools where students moving up from primary schools may need assistance in settling into the new schedule and lifestyle of secondary school life. However, peer mentoring can occur at the grade school level, the undergraduate level, and the graduate school level. The goals of the program may vary according to the level, the educational institution, or the discipline. Peer mentors in secondary schools did in the transition of younger students from the primary school to secondary school. They may assist mentees with their social work and study skills, peer pressures, such as pressure to use drugs, etc. Issues with attendees and behavior and typical family problems. Youth mentors are persons for children or adolescents to spend time with, often to compensate for absent family members or an inadequate home environment. Mentoring programs for youth can be especially useful for students who are suffering from a lack of social support and who therefore may be susceptible to delinquencies. Peer mentoring for undergraduates may assist newly admitted students with time management, study skills, organizational skills, curriculum planning, administrative issues, test preparations, term paper preparation, goal setting, and grade monitoring. Additionally, such mentors may provide other forms of social support for the students, such as friendship networking and aiding the students' adjustment to college life. A peer mentor at the graduate level may assist new students in selecting an advisor negotiating the advisor or advisee relationship, preparation for major examinations, publishing articles, searching for jobs, and adjusting to the graduate college life. Peer mentoring in higher education has enjoyed a good name and is seen favorable by both educational administrators and students. During the last decade, peer mentoring has expanded and is found in most colleges and universities frequently as a means to outreach, retain, and recruit minority students. Peer mentoring is used extensively in higher education for several reasons. Benefits attributed to classical mentoring when an older adult mentor a younger person can translate to peer mentoring relationships, mainly when the peer mentor and the mentee have similar backgrounds. Some colleges and university campuses have encouraged peer mentorship programs to aid retention of underrepresented populations. The lack of role models or volunteers forces administrators and student leaders to use students as peer mentors of other students, usually first-year students, in order to guide, support, and instruct junior students. Because peer mentoring programs requires a low budget for administration and or development, they become a cheap alternative to support students perceived as likely to fail. Now, to discuss this very, very important aspect and topic, that is role of youth in peer mentorship, we have two young buddies who are going to give their views. We also have a chief guest of the program, and I would like to invite and introduce our chief guest of the program. He is Mr. Sarvesh Kaushal, IAS. Mr. Kaushal is the former Chief Secretary of Government of Punjab. He is BA Humanities, MA History, University Gold Medalist, MA Economics, and LLB. He is of Indian Police Service 1981 batch and Indian Administrative Service 1982 batch. During his service period, he held important posts in Government of Punjab and central government. He attended several prestigious trainings in different management institutions, including Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, Xavier Labour Relations Institute, Jamshedpur, Tata Energy Research Institute, New Delhi, National Institute of Bank Management, Pune, National Law School of India, University, Bangalore, Harvard University, and Harvard Kennedy School, Harvard, USA. He is the president of Kaushal Foundation, a charitable, secular, and non-political society. He is the chairman of Law and Order Advisory Council of the Punjab Governor as administrator of UT of Chandigarh. Welcome, Mr. Sarvesh Kaushal, on our show. Mr. Kaushal, today the topic, role of youth in peer mentorship. Many asked when we kept this topic what it means. And this topic is such a topic which really, knowingly or unknowingly, we are practicing from our childhood also. And we have seen the students who, either the same class student or one class above a student, they used to mentor their juniors or their class fellows unknowingly at that time, because we were not knowing that this is called peer mentorship. But now it has taken a very, very big role. So we would like to know from you your views on the role of youth in peer mentorship. Mr. Sarvesh Kaushal, IAS, please.
Thank you, Mr. Goel, and hello, young friends. Mr. Goel is so knowledgeable on the subject, and he has covered it so well in terms of its extent and depth that there's hardly anything that I can add to it except highlighting certain parts of it and explaining through examples how they apply to our lives and how we can refine the mentorship, menteeship relationship all through the life. Without repeating or emphasizing what Mr. Goel has already narrated, I would take you to a course where I just ignite your minds and provoke you to a great discussion after I finish. Let us see what type of mentorship goes on in a human being's life from cradle to grave. If we understand and focus our thoughts on that cycle, we'll come to know of various types of mentorship. Where does the traditional mentorship come? Where the classical mentorship is there? Where the distant mentorship is there? Where the structured, formalized, professional, normal or peer mentorship takes place? What are the types of the mentors we encounter in life? What are their credentials? What are their qualities? What are the inherent disqualifications? And what are the mentee responses? And what conditions those responses? What is the end result of a mentor-mentee relationship? How do we measure it? Is it a net positive result? Or it could go horribly wrong? So we have to focus our minds on the life journey. It's all a process of internalization. A child is born. A child is born for the first time in this world. And the mother has given birth to the child for the first time. The child is in an effort to internalize himself into this world. And a young girl is in her effort to internalize herself into her first motherhood. At that stage of life, a child is mentored by nature. The child suddenly, after some time, opens her or his fists, opens eyes, looks around curiously. The nature is mentoring the child. Who is mentoring the mother? People who have been mothers earlier. That is classical, traditional, informing mentoring. Do this, don't do this, avoid doing this, must do that, this, that. Of course, it's unstructured, unprofessional mentorship. It may cross the borderline, become too dominating, interfering, irritating, or exceptionally helpful. It depends how the minds of the mentor and the mentee dovetail with one another. What is the degree of persuasion? What degree of sophistication in mentor's persuasion? And what is the degree of receptivity in the mind of the mentee? Do they dovetail perfectly, or are there angularities? That defines the appropriateness of a relationship and the concept of compatibility. Now the child grows up. The child grows up and goes to the school for the first time, preschool. The child is excited, at times dumbfounded. The child doesn't want to go to the school, weeps for the first few days. Mother also weeps in sympathy. After some time, if you don't send the child to school, then the child weeps. That means over a period of 15 days or 1 month, the child has been internalized into the school environment. By whom? The child is learning through his peers, what are the others doing in the school? How are the others having their cup of tea? How are the others having their chocolate? How are the others having their water from their bottle? How are the others eating in the recess? That's what is learnt by the child to the peers. And the mother is told by other mothers, don't worry. The child will take some time to adjust. Don't get emotional. So you have to push the child, even if you don't feel like, you have to push the child away from you to go to the school. So on. The child grows up. There are problems of adolescence. There are problems inside the school, outside the school. The child is getting internalized into the family also. The conditions of the family may be different for every child. A family could be rich, family could be poor, family could be educated, uneducated, enlightened, relatively unenlightened. Family could be a single unit where the child may not be getting enough attention of the parents, working parents. The family could be a joint family, having all the coziness of a joint family, but along with the usual bickerings. How does the child understand? So that's the process of internalization. Everyone gives out something to the child. And certain things a child learns by perceiving others as role models. So that's role model mentoring. That is invisible role model mentoring. Now, Mr. Goel has already explained to you the benefits of mentoring. The same thing goes to the college. In the college, there could be multicultural groups. There could be caste issues. There could be gender issues. There could be language issues. There could be language issues. There could be issues of first-time lack of knowledge. Where do I go? Where's my library? Where do I deposit the fee? How do I apply for my hostel? How do I go to the mess? This, that, everything. So, knowledge gap, hand-holding issues. So, that's the thing. Understand what type of traditional, classical, unstructured mentoring that goes on. And then, of course, a child gets married. The people who are already married tell the boy or the girl, this is how the marriage is, this is how you have to behave, this is how the adjustments have to be made. This is all mentoring going on. Nobody is born great, everyone. No, but that is traditional, unstructured, informal mentoring. Now, coming to peer mentoring, it's understood that, as Mr. Goel just said, that the age gap between the mentor and the mentee is less. The mentor has gone through a certain experience, almost the same experience which the mentee is supposed to go through in the future. But normally, this concept has become more and more professional. Rather than everyone trying to become a mentor, assume himself to be a mentor, and every other person suffering an unwanted mentor. Now, there are software-based, formula-based, personality compatibility approach. What is more appropriate is that a mentor and mentee should understand the language, should be able to communicate better with one another. Perhaps the mentor and the mentee should be able to understand the gender issues, language issues, disability issues, even through cognitive psychology, the behavioral issues. A mentee may be perfectly okay in an educational institution, but at the back of his or her mind, there could be a lot of stress that is being generated in the family, outside the educational institution, a broken relationship, an altercation, bad environment in the family. So, through cognitive psychology, a mentor has to understand what's going wrong. Is there an attention deficit in the mentee? How to hold the hand of the mentee to tide through such things. A person may be in grief. Someone near and dear has died. So the mentor has to help the mentee in the management of grief, management of pain, management of emotional stress, even the management of happiness, so that the mentee doesn't go berserk, gets drunk, or does certain socially, personally awkward things from where there's a point of no return. If someone is an introvert, you need to calibrate to bring him out. If someone is an unduly extrovert personality, calibrate. But as Mr. Goel said, the relationship between the mentor and the mentee is not that of a drill master and a cadet. A mentor doesn't have to be overbearing, dominating, giving a sense of superiority, generating inferiority complex in the mentee, or trying to influence the mentee with his own ideology, his own outlook of life. Or a mentor has no business to encroach upon personal space of the mentee. A mentor has no business to become rude or objectionably informal to the mentee. The mentor doesn't have to take advantage of a superior position in the relationship of a mentor and mentee. It's a very delicate task. It's equally true in education, and it's equally true in other professional organizations, in corporate houses. Mentorship is the first and foremost part of training of the new recruits. In-service mentorship grooms them and helps them to grow to the middle level and higher positions also. So the people who are qualified to be mentors have to undergo screening. People full of negativity, people full of cynicism, people whose independent thinking is clouded by a particular ideology, people who have a kink in their manifesting in their irrational thinking, they are not fit to be mentors. We have to give a medicine. We have to give a positive input. We don't have to spread negativity. We don't have to spread defeatism. We have to facilitate confidence building and not confidence shattering. And then the mentor has to be trained to prepare a feedback. The feedback of a mentor is the test of mentor's own strengths. If he is not in a position to notice the right type of points and then draw up a feedback, and then if he doesn't have the maturity and the skills to convey that feedback in such a manner that the other person does not become defensive. That's the crux of the mentorship. Mentorship is very, very important. There's always a weak corner in everyone's heart, needing some support at some time. Everyone is not an adventurer. Everyone is not fond of jumping into a well to know its depth. Everyone wants someone to hold his hands or her hands without taking advantage of the situation. In fact, mentee should be assessing the mentor with this in the same manner as the mentor assesses the mentee. Although the mentee is not expected to have the same level of maturity, the mentor has the benefit of hindsight. And a mentee could be full of expectations, bubbling with emotions. Energy could be misdirected or right directed. So this is all that we have to see. See, the mentor generally takes advantage of something called peer pressure. He tells the mentee, look, what will people say if you exhibit deviant and socially objectionable behavior? What type of citizen will you become? What will your parents say? What will your society say? What will your friends feel? So therefore, the peer pressure is one of the instruments in the hands of a good mentor to influence the mentee in the right direction while holding hands of the mentee to a glorious future, to a successful future, to a socially productive future. Then there could be very sad incidents of victimization. Someone could be a victim of gang violence. Someone could be a victim of social abuse, sexual abuse, social discrimination, racism, etc., which might have hurt the mentees and slightly disoriented him or her. At that stage, it's the mentor who holds the hand and makes the mentee tide over the grim situation that the mentee is facing. If there is a good mentor, there is every possibility that the mentee would not fall into a phase of depression. The mentee would not lose the sense of balance between what is right and what is wrong. The mentee may not take recourse to drugs, intoxication, and other habits which not only destroy the mentee, but collectively the society in general. The mentee should be on a good moral platform. If he doesn't have a good moral platform, let the mentor be not there. The mentor should withdraw. There's this inherent qualification of being a mentor, that I should not be an example of something contrary to what I'm telling the mentees. And believe me, my young friends, now I'm a fortunate person living in a family of 4 generations together. So I can easily see the attributes and traits of 4 generations today. There are 2 generations below me and 1 generation above me. Your age group people, the youth, is liberated in the sense that it has the independence to think and act the way they like, but not actually liberated in a way to think rationally. I mean, I don't say you don't think rationally, to essentially think rationally and in a self, family, socially, and nationally productive manner. You are a generation which listens to one another much more than listening to the elder mentors, whether they are professionals or within the family, whether they are classical and traditional, whether they are professional mentors. You listen to one another because you value experience and you value contemporary experience. We always, the elder mentors get a rebuff. Times have changed. You don't know how times have changed. You know nothing. Your times have changed. Yes, times have changed. We also keep an eye on the changing times. But you are right. The age gap mentoring is more of sermonizing and more of a prohibitive nature because there is too much gap of a very hardened experience on one side and a very raw mind on the other. So it doesn't suit. There's a mismatch. There's generally a mismatch unless you're convinced that this man talks sense and this man has an open mind and this man will listen to me and will not enter into a monologue without listening to me. What I think, what is my perception, why I think so. Why not? He doesn't convince me. He said, no, I don't want to convince you, but I tell you this is wrong. No, that's not the mentoring. So these are the problems which the people of my age suffer as mentors. We don't know what is mentoring and we don't know what is demanded and expected of us. But peer mentoring, good or bad, you people are very receptive. Someone said this is good, okay. Without verification, you will do it. So therefore, when you select your peer mentors, you please, for God's sake, look for all good qualities in a mentor. He should be a role model mentor. The role model mentor may not be the one who sits on a boundary wall and smokes 12 times a day. It's basically on you to find your mentor. Nobody can find a mentor and give it to you. There are in colleges and other institutions, particularly in the foreign countries now in India also, where they have student mentorship groups and societies and offices. And they just with the software that, okay, this girl is from this area, this region, this is her mother tongue. They ask you questions, questionnaire. What time do you get up? Do you like Indian music, classical music, this music, that music? Are you an outdoor person or an indoor couch potato? Do you like there's war movies or do you like so and so movies? Which poet do you? They give you 100 questions and they put it in the software, and where the compatibility is maximum, they make mentors and mentees. So this type of a scientific approach is there. If you say that, if I say I smoke, and I mean there are some negative points also. If you smoke, they won't give you a smoking mentor who will justify. Mentor has to be a role model. right? So peer mentoring is very, very important. First, be good mentees and then be good mentors, right? First, be good mentees, then while you are a mentor for someone, you are someone's mentee at the same time. And you could be having 2, 3 mentors at the same time and 2, 3 mentees at the same time. Depends how much time you can afford, but never believe in numbers. I have 6 mentees, but I don't attend to them. So this is, I don't want to take a lot of your time. I have opened up the discussion. I have triggered some thoughts, ignited your mind. Now I request you to please proceed with free, frank, and provocative discussion as planned by Mr. Goel. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaushal, for giving such a inspirational and motivational and very easily the way you have explained the relationship between mentor and mentee as well as the peer mentorship. That's why people says that the civil services, they choose the best brains from the country, and that is you are representing, because you are not only selected in IAS, earlier you were selected in IPS also. So it shows how you are most suitable person for the civil, not only for the civil service, for the civil society. Thank you very much, Mr. Kaushal. I'm sure that today your such thoughts have provoked and given really a encouraging views, instill the views of yours in the youth who are participating as well as who are watching the show, and as well as the senior citizens or the elders, because they are the mentors, so they should understand how to do the mentoring. Now I would like to invite my youth guest, and the first youth guest is Miss Genevieve P. Menges. Miss Genevieve, you have heard what our chief guest, Mr. Kaushal, has spoken. Now we would like to know from you your views on role of youth in peer mentorship. First, you introduce yourself and then speak, please.
Yes, thank you, Goel sir. I am Genevieve. Good morning, everyone. I am Genevieve Menages from Udupi, Karnataka. Currently, I am pursuing my MBA in Finance from Justice K.S. Hegde Institute of Management, Nitte, Karnataka. I hope everyone are doing well amidst this pandemic. So let me directly get into today's topic, role of youth in peer mentorship. I would like to begin with a quote written by Sean Hitchcock. A mentor empowers a person to see a better future and believes that it can be obtained. Yes, peer mentoring is a form of a mentorship which takes place between two persons, one who has lived a specific experience and between the other one who is new to that experience. If I have to give an example, a simple example which I can quote is, and in a family, an elder sibling who guides, who supports their younger sibling in their studies or any other day-to-day activities can be a peer mentoring, right? So here, peer mentoring can have two aspects. One, where the mentors shares their knowledge, their ideas, their experience with their mentees and take them on the right path. Secondly, as said by Kaushal sir, they can provide moral support, they can provide emotional support, where if anyone loses, if a mentee loses their near and dear ones, the mentor can provide some emotional support to them. So, being a mentor, does it mean that they should be superheroes? Not really, but definitely they can take a role of a teacher, an advisor, a guide, a friend, and also a listener. Because sometimes many people want someone to listen to them, to listen to their ideas, and just motivate them. So here we can see what role can a youth play in this regard. How can they become a peer mentor? No doubt, youths are considered as an biggest asset and hope of a nation. They also play a major role in the development of a country. So their mentorship can definitely lead to a better future. But most importantly, a peer mentorship can help in challenging life transition, because when an experienced person guides us on how the things should be carried out further, definitely it will lead to better decision making, and also it can generate some better outcome. the confidence of a youth, their reliability, and their sensitivity will definitely have some major impact on their mentees and can encourage them to work beyond their comfortable zone. So, where exactly can a youth act as a mentor? Has said by Kaushal sir in any ways, but I believe one of the best place to act as a mentor is in their schools and colleges. There might be people who might think a school going student, how can they be a mentor? Well, why not? A senior can guide their juniors in many ways, right? It might be in terms of academics, it might be in terms of sports, it might be in terms of culturals, any other activities. Providing some kind of idea, helping them to prepare well for their examinations is also a kind of mentoring. So I believe same happens at graduate and undergraduate level as well. But the guidance provided there might be different. It might be helping them to choose any particular subject, helping them in their projects, or helping them prepare for their semester end exams, anything. Has said by Goel sir, they can also provide some social support where he mentioned friendship, networking, and also adjusting them, helping them to adjust to their college life, anything else. So, if anyone asks me, does this mentoring benefit anyone? Well, I would definitely say yes, because it helps to boost the self confidence of a mentee. It will help them to improve their skills, and also to a certain extent, they can make new friends from this. Not even the mentees, not only the mentees, even the mentors can avail some benefit from this, where mentoring can help, will build a sense of a leadership skill in them. They there will be also it also creates a like empathy towards others in them. So what actually needs to be a good mentor is, they should have self management skill. They should possess some good strong skills to understand their mentees, but moreover, they should be matured enough to handle their mentorship effectively. But having a peer mentor many a times will kill the creativity of a mentee, because they might think like, mentor knows better than me, why should I interfere? So they might not step forward, they might not put forth their point of views. Also, it will bring kind of a laziness in them, because they know not to worry, mentor might do something or the other thing. Like, I feel these are the some of the disadvantages associated with peer mentorship. So I would like to conclude by saying any youth leading and taking up peer mentorship will definitely bring a drastic change in the society and also in anyone's life. Thank you. That was from my end.
Thank you very much, Ms. Menges, for giving your very good views. And what you rightly said about the family. Yesterday, I did a program on joint family versus nuclear family. And the advantages of the joint family is, as our chief guest has also spoken, that he is also in a joint family of 4 generations, that the elders and especially the siblings, the cousins, they used to mentor, and that is again like a peer mentorship, because the siblings are of almost the same age or same background. So thank you very much for giving your views. Now I would like to invite my next youth guest, and she's Miss Mahima Bhatt. Miss Mahima Bhatt, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Kaushal, as well as our earlier youth guest. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in peer mentorship. Miss Mahima Bhatt, please introduce yourself and speak.
Thank you, sir. I feel privileged to get this opportunity to put across my views on this topic today. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Mahima. I'm a final year business administration student from SDM College of Business Management, Mangalore, Karnataka. So I have been part of Toastmasters International. We have something called mentoring concept in this, where an experienced Toastmaster advises and guides newbies. So when I joined, I was allotted with a mentor who guided me in each and every step. She was all ears to all my problems. She suggested me all good points, how I can improve as a communicator and as a leader. So presently, after 2 years, now I am also mentoring 2 of my mentees, and I can see the perks of this mentoring program. It has helped me and my mentees to grow together and nurture each other. So especially when in new environment, peer mentorship can be handy. I like when my brother who studies in abroad, he says it was really useful for him because in a lot of, as Kaushal sir rightly pointed, in some of the international and national schools, they've started these peer mentorship program. And my in my brother's college or university also, this certain program is there wherein peer mentors are attached to the newbies. So the newbie who has left his family, his hometown, and is replaced to a new environment, he gets good guidance from the senior, or rather the mentor. So he was guided, and in preparations for exams or for study habits, or what are the do's and don'ts, what are the rules and regulations of a college, what are the new places to explore in this new city. This helped him a lot to adapt to this transition, as his mentor was always there to support him, and he provided him with much needed social and emotional support. So if we speak about the benefits which the mentees get from this peer mentorship program, mentees will feel secured when they know that someone is seriously listening to them. And as I earlier mentioned, especially when in foreign place, peer mentors will serve as a great listener to the mentees issues. Like if they have any, if they're facing any abuses from someone or suicidal thoughts, they could share it with the peer mentors, and they could get some good suggestions, good practices can be suggested by the mentors to the mentees. Also, mentees can improve their skills with the good feedback that they received from the peer mentors. The peer mentors have already gone through this process. They have experienced this, so they will be the right person. Since the age gap between the mentor and mentee will be less, it will be easy for them to gel well, and it would be easy for them to open up. And mentees can especially in one, I mean, my mentor had asked me to list out the strengths and weaknesses. What are my goals that I want to achieve by the end of the year? So these mentors help us to convert these weaknesses to strengths, and thereby achieve our goals. So this gave me an insight that how writing can help us being more serious about our goals. So this is what I got from my mentor. Also, peer mentors can suggest about various workshops, help the mentees plan for their career, encourage them to grab the opportunities. Now, if we talk about what are the benefits the mentor gains from this peer mentorship program, I feel that peer mentors will get a sense of satisfaction that they created some small difference in someone's life. For example, when we know that there is somebody reliable, someone encouraging, someone friendly and easy to talk to, this makes us feel comfort, and hence it will make a very big difference. I go to my mentor's place without any formal appointment procedure, as she makes me feel like a friend with whom I would share anything and everything. Not only do I share about my professional life, but also about my personal life. So when I need any emotional support, she is the go-to person. The next point which I would like to
Please be
point
brief.
out, yes. Even we can learn something from our mentees also. At times, I had a mentee who said, I have not been very regular in mentoring. And that was something which I learned from them. As Kaushal sir said, peer pressure can be really helpful and productive. So in my opinion, mentoring can be a powerful tool if implemented in a school or organization. So we, the youth, should take up this opportunity when given to be a peer mentor. It will be an enriching experience. It will impact positively to both the mentors as well as the mentees. Thank you for giving this opportunity, sir. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mehrabat. And you rightly said that youth wants this type of mentorship and the mentee in India. And I'm sure with the new education policy 2020, this type of change should be incorporated. Otherwise, I'm sure Mr. Kaushal will use his clouds and see to it that if not, it should come, because these types of things, if it will come in the college, school, and university level, definitely it will help to reduce the mental tension and the depressions which the youth are facing today. Thank you very much, Ms. Mahima Bhatt, for giving your views. Now I would like to invite my next youth guest, and she's Ms. Manshi Mikam R. Marak. Ms. Manshi, please unmute yourself. I will just see. Yes, Ms. Manshi, please unmute yourself. Please unmute. Ms. Manshi, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Kaushal, as well as earlier youth guest. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in peer mentorship. Ms. Manshi Marak, please.
Thank you, sir. Hi, I am Manshi Armara from Meghalaya, a student of Loyola College, William Nagar. And it is my joy to share my views on this topic, role of youth in peer mentorship. Peer mentorship is a relationship between our folks that are at the identical stage or age within which one person has more experience than the other at the particular domains or might provide support. And peer mentoring can be one-on-one group or in a one-on-one relationships or in a group. I have a pleasant experience and a happy feelings of peer mentoring that I experienced as a youth. Youth is a period of turmoil and many challenges it faced, like academic demands, family, social expectation for better performance, adjustment with peers, career warriors, relationships, and so on. It is an experience of those in positive sharing and mentoring to gain confidence about their skills, to influence others, and to develop the bond of friendships, and to support groups in person, which persons that all level needs. People, especially the youngs, are confused about their values and the value systems as our country and the world experience dramatic social, cultural, and political changes. Besides, there is a breakdown of traditional community and family values and moral leaderships. Peer mentoring gain importance against this background among youths. Peer mentoring among the youngs takes place in natural environment and which has greater acceptance, especially in a travel context from where I come. In their role, peer mentoring develops skills, confidence, and a sense of leadership. The impact of peer mentoring on many students and as a learners, academic, social, and psychological have been very positive. Critical circulating students' capacity, the future leadership is central to the goal of my college. The college provides us many opportunities to involve. These initiatives improves our skills of communications, organizations, and collaboration, as well as a sense of leadership, efficacy, and abilities. For me, college life is a practice field for a peer mentoring and leadership. And a peer mentor can help an incoming students to become established within the community with the advice on their experience to become a far better person in a very society. It can also help students to understand the program expectations or policies. Mentorship plays a crucial role for youth because individuals who have mentored often perform better in their jobs and achieve far better career progression than non-mentors. And it can also help students to understand about these programs. And it can help students to find career path and to connect with the right people and resource to support their advancement. And it will definitely guide students to become future leaders. Peer mentoring programs have several advantages over people who depend upon adult volunteers. This media conference with Mr. Goel is also an opportunity to attract youths who are best suited to become successful future leaders and for whom the mentoring experience will benefit their own skills and knowledge. My sincere appreciation to the chairman of Global TV for providing us, especially for me, an opportunity to have a media conference with Mr. Lal Goel to share our views on this topic, role of youths in peer mentorship. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Manshi, for giving your views. And as you rightly said, yes, we are doing this media conference with Lal Goel. Every week, we are trying to have minimum one conference dedicated to youth, because we feel that if youth are guided properly, and that's why we try to rope in a chief guest from a very, very knowledgeable field, those who have full knowledge and those who have worked in the development of the society and development of the country, so that the views can reach. And in one way, you can very well say that although the time is very short, but it is also a mentoring. And in case we always encourage, in case if any one of you feel like to connect further with our chief guest, you are feel free, and you can contact the Global TV chairman, Mr. Paul. He will connect you once we will take the permission from the chief guest, so that mentoring can be done. Thank you very much, Ms. Manshi, although it will not be a peer mentorship, but mentorship will be there. Thank you very much for giving your views. Now, I would like to invite my next youth guest, and she is Miss Nayan Chaudhary. Miss Chaudhary, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Kaushal, as well as earlier youth guest, and now we would like to know from you the role of youth in peer mentorship. Miss Nayan Chaudhary, please first introduce yourself and then speak.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. This is author Nayan Chaudhary. I'm a professional public speaker, trainer, and of course, author. I help corporate professionals and business leaders to excel in their communication skills, public speaking skills, and overall life development. Until now, I have trained more than 4,000 people across the world. I always believed in this, that whenever we take help of some experts or experienced person, we shorten our journey. We achieve more things in very less time. And this is something which I am following from last so many years, learning from players. But see, this is a reality. If we want to help others, first we need to help our own self, right? We need to get mentor from people. We need to improve ourselves. We need to learn, implement, and then we are going to get some experiences. Then only we could help others. I remember till my 10th standard, I was really shy, introvert, having no confidence, having low self-esteem. And whenever I have to interact with people, I used to look down and then I used to interact with people. So this was my situation. So how I get that 360 degree of transformation in my life? The secret is mentorship. I am having different mentors in different areas of my life. And when I was in my 11th standard, I got a wonderful person. His name is Mr. Rajesh Patil, sir. He was the first person who believed in me. He was the first person who showed his confidence in me, who showed his faith in me. And then I developed that confidence. I developed that courage. I developed that passion. And then gradually, I discovered my passion for public speaking. And I was super excited to do that. I was just going out and I was just finding the opportunity for myself to speak. But I was not getting that. Why? Because I was not having mentor in my life. And then I got wonderful person in my life. His name is Mr. Pratik Satpute. He showed me the way that how exactly I'm going to convert my dreams into reality. He had given me the frameworks, the strategies, all the things which I need to reach out to people and to do all the things which I always want to do. So the point here is, whatever we want to do, we need that kind of person into our life who is going to push us, who is going to motivate us to take action, who is going to help us to reach to our desired situation where we always want to reach. And then what happened with me was that this pandemic situation happened, right? Everyone is just having this situation where we haven't thought about that. And then I have shifted my offline business to online business. And then I started training people. Of course, first I have to learn, right? I had no idea that how these kind of situation happened, how that online training, everything happened. Then what I did, first I learned from people. I gathered all that knowledge. I implemented that. I experienced that. And then I started sharing my knowledge with people. And this is something which is really, really powerful. And in my journey, I have discovered three biggest learning in mentorship. The first is mindset. See, whatever we want to do in our life, we need mindset. Whether we want to become billionaire, we need mindset. Whether we want to start our own business, we need mindset, right? So whatever we want to do in our life, we need mindset. Without having mindset, we cannot do anything. So when I had started my journey in public speaking, I was not having skills. Literally, I was not having skills, but all I was having with me that is mindset. Because of my mindset, I could able to do the things. I could able to mentor thousands of people, thousands of corporate professionals and business leaders. And that all things happen because of the mindset. And the second skill which is needed is communication skills. Come on, let's face it. Communication is a skill which we are using for more than 17 hours a day. We are communicating with people, whether we are watching some videos or we are just writing something or we are listening something. We are communicating, right? So it is something which is really critical. If any individual want to go to this certain level, that individual needs to have that communication skills. And this is something which I have learned, I have experienced, and I started sharing with people. I started mentoring to people, and then they got mind-blowing results. They are just living their best life. But why does that happen? Because first I improved, I implemented, I experienced, and then I shared. And the third is removing that perfectionism. I have seen so many people, they just come to me and they say to me that, ma'am, I couldn't take action because I'm not perfect at it. Well, perfection is an illusion. We cannot be perfect. We are a human being, right? We are not a robot. Only robots are perfect, right? We are a human being. So human beings are perfectly imperfect. After 10 years, when we will just look back in our life, then we will find out that, oh my God, I was having so much flaws. And after 20 years, again, when we will look back, again, we will find out that we were having so many flaws. So see, perfection is an illusion. Human beings are perfectly imperfect.
Please be brief.
Yes. So we need to understand it. So whenever any individual wants to achieve more things in less time, then we must take help of some mentor, because that individual is going to shorten our journey. Thank you so much for providing me this wonderful opportunity. I'm blessed to be here.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nain Chaudhary. Yes, you are a practical, you are in front of everyone, how the mentors can change. And I'm sure that I have to come to you and learn public speaking the way you are speaking. Thank you very much, Ms. Nain. By the way, in which city you are based? You have not mentioned that.
Yeah. I'm from Maharashtra, Nasik.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Chaudhary. Now I would like to invite my next youth guest, and he is Mr. Rajan Chaube. Mr. Rajan Chaube, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Kaushal, as well as the earlier youth guest. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in peer mentorship. Mr. Rajan Kumar Chaube, please.
Thank you, sir, for giving me a golden opportunity to speak in front of amazing people. So I'm Rajan Kumar Chaube. I'm from Jharkhand, Ranchi. So I'm a practitioner of public speaking, and I want to be a public speaker. So I want to share some views on the role of youth in peer mentorship. First of all, as you and Sarvesh said that, and our youth participants says, role of youth is very important in every person's life. You know, India is the youngest country of the world. The 46% of the population of India is less than 25-year-old. You know, the peer mentorship is all about, training a student in particular subject with a specialized knowledge. You know, a person who has a specific experience and a specialized knowledge in their niche, mentoring to the person who is new in the same experience. You know, it is a very essential to learn with the person who has experience, not only theoretical knowledge. So I want to ask one question: why most of the people are not getting result in their life? Because they don't have peer mentorship. There is no one who can take their hand and to the level of success. Let me clear this. If I take an example of MBA colleges, they taught about businesses, how to do business, how to grow yourself. But if you see very deeply, most of the professors had never done business in their career, and they are still teaching how to do business. So please tell me, can their student able to do their business with theoretical knowledge? I think never, because professor can never guide in the problem which students will get. Instead of that, if you learn about learn business from the people who is doing business, there's a 99% of the chance you will get success. You know why? Because the person who is doing the same thing you want to do in your life, he will tell you what to do, what not to do. Important, how to deal with the problem, how you can get rid of the problem that you will face, and you can also share your problem, and you can also get some mentorship, and that is the power of peer mentorship. You can share your thoughts, you can share your knowledge, you can share your problems where you are getting stuck. If the speaker or the coach or the trainer is the same age group, it will help you to connect more. They all have better understanding. As Sarasa says that if you are in the same age group, you will feel free to share anything. You can share whatever comes in your mind, and that will help you to become a creative, and you can do some creative things. So my message is to be the master in one niche instead of being average in 10 things. So what we can do is, as a youth, so first of all, we need to be a best mentee. Then after that, we can be a good mentor, that we can help to the lots of people, that they can get something substantial in their life. If you are best in one thing, that means you can do that particular thing in bestest way that ever can done. And this is the way of invention, new creation. So, and the most important thing, you can make other people best in it, so they can all improve. And the good mentor do the same. As I mentioned, India is most youngest country of this world, one of the most youngest country. If you want to take our country to the next level, then we have to be specialized and make other specialists. So what we can do is, we can be a good mentee, then be a good mentor, so that we can take to the people from their level standard to the next level where they want to go, and that will help to improve. That will help to upgrade our country. And the youth has a great power to create something great, do something great, and that will happen if we have good mentorship, if we have good peer mentorship, that we can share something, that we can learn. So it's all about being subject matter expertise, and be a experienced person. Then we can share our experience that other people can do. So it's all our responsibility to do something remarkable to the youth. So it's all about from my side.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chaube, for giving your views. And you rightly said that how the professor, those who are teaching. But you should understand one thing. Even in the management colleges, once you are doing your BBA or BBM or MBA, once you are doing there, they send you for the internship. And the internship is generally in the industry which you want to where you want to see your future, even in other industries. So the mentorship is being given in that internship. So it is going on, but it all depends. Yes, you rightly said, if we have the peer mentorship, it will give more benefits. Thank you very much, Mr. Chaube, for giving your views. Now I would like to invite my last guest, not the least, and her name is Miss Tejaswini Vedula. Miss Tejaswini Vedula, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Kaushal, as well as an earlier youth guest, and we would like to know your views on role of youth in peer mentorship. Miss Tejaswini Vedula, please.
Hello everyone, namaste, and thank you for staying tuned with us for this live program. And I'm very much grateful for this wonderful opportunity. So this is a great concept. Like I'm working as a digital marketing mentor with one of my mentors, Saurabh Bhatnagar. Day in and day out, I help students to implement the real digital marketing strategies because I have been through few of the experiences. And today, coming to this peer mentorship, one major crisis that is common amongst all our youth, and the thing that you can always relate is the emotional hunger. Do you see, when you are at 10th class, you dream of becoming something. And as and when you're a youngster, your parents, your family, your neighbor, everyone cheers. You be that, you be that, you be that. But as we grow, as we step up the ladder, the responsibilities come and seize our potential. People start saying, you're not responsible, you're not doing this. Oh my God, all the comparisons. This is nothing but emotional hunger. Why? Because you are having a goal and then slowly, gradually, you are compressing it within yourself. You are not exploding yourself. I'm really amazed today when Sarveshwar was telling all his views. I understood that how he has digested his emotional hunger, and today he is where he is. The same way Mr. Lal Goel, sir, the same way Nayan Chaudhary and all my peer mentors. They are doing by digesting the emotional hunger. They are not suppressing the emotional hunger. Always try to enjoy what you do. This is the main point that you need to understand. Now, you might have many questions. How will I address my emotional hunger? It's very simple. Look around, see the people who are doing what you love to do, connect with them, and ask them questions. You will ask questions when you improve your level of knowledge. If you are not improving your level of knowledge, how do you think that new questions will come up? One more important thing to all those students out there, to all the youth, to all the adults who have suppressed their emotional hunger, who have thought they'll become one day of something and they are not working towards it. Stop being shameful, stop feeling shy, stop feeling any kind of low vibratory emotion from asking monetary help from your family and peers. Go take action and talk to the people and get network connected. Recently, one of the great digital mentors, Digital Pratik, he was telling, when he joined to one of the program, he paid for 50,000 rupees because he just wanted to connect with that mentor. So invest in yourself. My own mentor, Mr. Saurabh Bhatnagar, sir, we were asking him, so we have saved a lot of money. Tell us what to do. Where do we invest as a youth? Where do we start investing from? Sir told us only one thing: invest in yourself, invest in your books, invest in the programs that can help you nurture. Do you agree that one person cannot be a perfectionist? So that's the very reason when you connect yourself with the communities, you will find eventually over a period of time who can be your mentor. Let's suppose if I want to become I want to become better at my health. I have my coach Mansi. She takes care of my emotional well-being and also the health well-being. Then I want to nurture myself in the digital marketing. So comes the Saurabh Bhatnagar. I want to nurture myself in the sales. So comes the Shivam Singh, my own. I just consider him as my brother, and he is the one who has opened up, and he is the first person to believe in me that yes, Tej, you can be a mentor and you can guide people. And then came Kamini ma'am, whose testimonial was the first time I've seen that people are crediting her for helping. Then I realized, OMG, I can also help. It's not about what you don't have. It's about what you have and what you can give to others. And remember one thing, if you hear something, don't pass away directly. When you hear it, invest on yourself, improve yourself, experience it, and then pass it on to others. Now, I will give you 3 tips.
Please be brief.
Yes, yes. If you're if you want to become an ideal person, just do these 3 things for 10 days. And that is no comparison, no compromise, and no complaints. If you do these 3, you become your own personal peer mentor. And peer mentoring mostly is about understanding the other person, acknowledging all the views, questions to be solved at their level of understanding. Don't go by age, go by the level of understanding. And Eid Mubarak to all of you. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms.
Take care.
Tejasvi Vedula. Which city you are? You have not mentioned.
Yes, I'm from Hyderabad.
Okay, thank you very much. So what Ms. Tejasvi has mentioned about the emotional hunger, I still remember when we used to study, there used to be in Hindi, kya, kyun, kaise, or English, what, why, how. If you ask these things, although at that time we know that my own brothers used to be very irritated that you are always asking these things, but yes, that emotional hunger is always there. And if you satisfy your emotional hunger, then definitely you can reach to on the top. Thank you very much, Ms. Tejasvi. And now I would like to invite our chief guest. Time is short, 3 minutes for you, chief guest, to conclude and give your how you like today's media conference and these youth who have given so much new ideas. Mr. Sarvesh Kaushal, please. Please unmute.
Thank you very much, Mr. Goel. And thank you, young friends. It was a gush of very fresh breeze that I got when you all spoke, and I felt so young myself and happy and positive. 2 or 3 observations very briefly. One, I think professional structured peer mentor mentee relationship is becoming a bit elitist in India. We need to spread it. We need to spread it to vast number of government schools, government colleges, such private schools where people from different strata come and join, because unstructured, informal, classical mentorship goes on. But we need to increase our outreach and reach out to maximum number of people rather than making it absolutely elitist. Second thing is, I was just rather worried when some of the mentees are depending a bit more than required emotionally or otherwise on their mentors. Mentors, okay, can be role models, but one does not have to be absolutely enamored of a mentor, because ultimately you have to overtake him. And 3, by having 2 or 3 mentors, don't use your mentors as a stair to climb new heights. Even the mentor should not allow you to do that. Just a hand-holding. Just a hand-holding. Like the first 2 days of hand-holding to make a child walk. And after he starts walking, there's no need to hold his hand. It has to be, the relationship becomes unprofessional. If you are enamored by your mentor and glamorize him, be rational. Rationality, scientific temper. Take your mentor's help, and the mentors should know to what extent help has to be given: emotional, physical, logistical, knowledge-based. The difference between a traditional classical mentorship and professional peer mentorship is this only: a line has to be drawn. So this is just a word of caution. Peer mentorship for the youth is the panacea, is the ultimate medicine to move forward. Now, management of, one word for management of frustration, what was that? Hunger. No, that's emotional hunger.
Emotional hunger.
So I use the word frustration because when there's a gap between what you want to achieve and what you have actually achieved, there's a deficit. So that deficit may bring in frustration. So that's basically frustration management, emotional management. Giving you another direction. If one door is closed, there are 3 doors which are still open. Keeping you occupied to look forward rather than sinking into a depression on account of frustration and defeatism. No, nothing doing. In life, only battles are lost. The war has to be won. That should be kept in mind. Thank you very much, young friends, and thank you very much, Mr. Goel, for giving me an opportunity to interact with such young, positive, happy people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaushal. And I am sure today's our program is reached to a very, very, you can say, height, because the way all the youth and the way our chief guest has spoken, it's opened a new gate and thought that yes, the government schools and the colleges should have this program. Although the other colleges should also have, but for those who are underprivileged, they require more mentorship today, those which are not there right now. Thank you very much to you all. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, News Gaon se Samvad Sarokar News, as well it was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring to you every day new thing. But I would like to now inform you today, because of so much demand, although I am doing for last more than 1 year, but the demand from the public and especially from those, they says that you are only talking in English and only program is in English. They want to do something from my side that we should do something called Hindi. So from today, we are starting a new program that will be at 4:30 p.m. every day for half an hour. और वो प्रोग्राम है कल आज और कल लाल गोयल के संग, जिसमें हम एक एक पर्सनालिटी को लाएंगे, उनके बारे में जानेंगे, उनकी लाइफ के बारे में जानेंगे, किस तरह वो वहां तक पहुंचे, क्या उनके बचपन कैसे बीता, कैसे उन्होंने अपने को इस मुकाम तक पहुंचे और उनका क्या विचार है आगे अपने बारे में, अपने इस समाज के बारे में, इस देश के बारे में और यूथ्स के बारे में, तो जिससे कि वो एक रोल मॉडल बन सकें, उन्हें हम ला सकें समाज के सामने। तो आज जो हमारा पहला कार्यक्रम है, जो आज शुरू होगा 4:30 बजे, कल आज और कल लाल गोयल के संग, और आज जो हमारे फर्स्ट गेस्ट हैं, चीफ गेस्ट हैं, ही इज हिज होलीनेस डॉक्टर स्वस्ति श्री भट्टारका चारू कीर्ति पंडिताचार्य महास्वामी जी श्री जैन मठ मूरबिद्री। आपके बारे में हम जानेंगे कि उनका कैसे बचपन बीता, कैसे वो इसमें आए, कैसे वो इतने बड़े स्वामी जी बन गए कि पूरे विश्व में आज उन्हें माना जाता है, और उनका क्या संदेश है हमारे युवा पीढ़ी के लिए। और ये सब कार्यक्रम हिंदी में होगा, और आशा ही नहीं विश्वास है कि जिस तरह का प्रेम आप लोगों ने इस इंग्लिश प्रोग्राम मीडिया कॉन्फ्रेंस विद लाल गोयल को दिया, वही आप इस नए उसको देना चाहेंगे जो हिंदी में होगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू वेरी मच ऑल द यूथ गेस्ट, एंड थैंक यू वेरी मच आवर चीफ गेस्ट मिस्टर सर्वेश कौशल IAS, and thank you all the viewers for watching today's very, very enlightening show. Thank you very much.